Let's cross now to Anthony Mills in Vienna. Anthony, what's expected to come out of this emergency session?
Well, Annette, as you say, the IEA is meeting to discuss the further release of strategic reserves to try to drive down the price of oil, which has risen 30% already this year, in part, of course, propelled by sanctions on Russia. So that's, if you will, something of the flip side to those sanctions and an illustration of how, while they may certainly be hurting Russia in many respects, they may also be having effects that are not as desirable on the part of Western countries in particular, but countries around the world. So that's the goal of these meetings. We know that the US has said within the last day or so that for the next 6 months, it will be releasing 1 million barrels per day from its strategic reserves in an effort to bring down the price of oil. And we've seen some movement downwards already. The goal of today's meeting is to put pressure downwards on those oil prices and to try to diminish this flip side effect of the sanctions.
Now, Austria is highly dependent on Russian gas, as are a number of European nations. Just how worried is the Austrian government about energy supplies?
Well, of course, the price of oil and the concerns about the price of oil are part and parcel of a bigger, if you will, energy crisis right now. And that includes, of course, gas as well. And as you say, Austria really one of the countries that is the most dependent on the flow of Russian gas towards Europe at roughly 80%. There are other countries that are very dependent on Russian gas as well. We have Germany, for example, at around 40%. And indeed, such is the concern that just a few days ago, Germany and Austria activated their emergency energy plans, their emergency gas plans. These are plans that have several stages, and this is but the first level of an emergency plan. But it's an indication that there is deep-seated concern in countries, particularly in Europe, of course, that are so dependent on Russian gas, that if this dispute about payment and methods of payment and whether or not the gas is going to be paid for in rubles or in euros and or dollars and then converted to rubles through bank accounts that consumers are apparently being obliged to open with Russian banks, that if that dispute is not resolved, or if the continued flow of gas at the prices set in existing contracts, if that doesn't come about, then there's still concern that we may be on a slippery slope that ends, at least according to the plans of Germany and Austria, those emergency plans, in rationing.
Anthony Mills reporting there from Vienna.